Welcome to Go to Blue Dude, everybody, and if you're new around here and you're a college football fan, hit the like and subscribe button because that's all we do here every single day. It's a super long off season, but I'm here to get you through it. And when you get a chance, go check out our Patreon page. A lot of time and effort going into that. I call my Patreon members the shot callers because I let them call the shots whenever it comes to video ideas, what teams I'm going to do the preview and predictions for first. And check out our website, designed and created by Joey Foster. We have 8 great writers led by our head writer, Michael Walker. And of course, you can't forget about our merchandise store. A lot of great stuff over there. In fact, myself, I bought 2 t-shirts, the gold one and the blue one, so I'm sure you'll find something you like over there. On to today's video. And the spreads have been released for the more notable games in week 1 of the college football season. That's right, we're 4 months out of the college football season, the very first week, and they're already coming out with the spreads. So I decided to take a look at them and break them down. Let me explain the spread real quick in case people don't know. When a spread comes out, a team is favored by so many points. If you pick the team that's favored and lay those points, you're saying that you think that that team will win by more than that many points. If you take the team that's favored but still take the points, you're saying that that team that's favored is still going to win but by less than that many points. Or you can straight up pick the upset and take the underdog on the money line. First one is Nebraska versus Northwestern. It's in Ireland. Nebraska opens as a 10.5 point favorite. Both Nebraska and Northwestern went 3-9 last year, but Nebraska lost most of their games by just 1 possession. The only game that they did not lose by just 1 possession was against Ohio State, and that was by 9 points. So they were only 1 point off on that loss. I think Nebraska is going to be a very dangerous team this year. I like this spread, and I would probably lay the 10.5. We'll see how that line fluctuates as the games get closer. Next game on the docket, the Backyard Brawl. This one I am looking forward to. I am going to this game. In fact, I have a bet with the Pitt fan. If somehow, some way, a miracle happened and Pitt were able to pull off the victory, I would have to wear a Pitt jersey for one of my videos and put it out on my YouTube channel. But when West Virginia does beat Pitt, my good friend who is a Pitt fan has to sing Country Roads. Well, I get to record it and I get to put that out on my YouTube channel. The opening line is Pitt is favored by 7 points. Last year, Pitt went 11-3, won the ACC. West Virginia went 6-7. Not a great season. Had West Virginia not gotten JT Daniels, I think that line would have been north of 13 points. Probably 13.5, maybe 14 points. I know this is going to sound like a homer pick, but I'm taking West Virginia at least to cover the 7. But of course, I'm going to take them straight up on the money line. And by the way, that game is at Pitt, but don't worry, that's not much of a home field advantage for Pitt. In fact, there might be more West Virginia fans than there are Pitt fans at that game. The next game is Notre Dame at Ohio State. Both of these teams went 11-2 last year. The line has opened up and Ohio State is a 13-point favorite. That's a pretty big line, but don't let that fool you. Remember last year, Oregon came into the horseshoe as heavy underdogs against Ohio State, pulled off the upset. Do not take this for granted, Ohio State fans. However, my initial reaction is I think Ohio State is much better this year, and I think Notre Dame will have a slight down year. I'm actually going to take Ohio State and lay those 13 points. I think it could be a 20-point blowout. I know Notre Dame fans are going to absolutely blast me for that one. And you know what? I might be wrong, but I'm taking Ohio State and laying the 13 on that one. The next game is Utah at Florida. Last year, Florida went 6-7. Utah went 10-4, won the Pac-12. This is at Florida, and Florida's just a 1-point favorite. Wow, Las Vegas does not have any faith in Florida. And rightfully so. The only thing that keeps Florida in this football game is being at home. If this were at Utah, Utah would be at least a touchdown favorite. They do have a new head coach, Billy Napier, coming into Gainesville. He was doing great at Louisiana. I have faith that he will do great at Florida, but in year 1, I'm not sure. But this being in the swamp, very hostile, the first game of the year, I'm actually going to take Florida to lay that 1 point. And that's not to say Utah will be bad. That's just a tricky first game. I still think Utah can win the Pac-12 this year. Next game is Cincinnati at Arkansas. Arkansas went 9-4 with the toughest schedule last year. And Cincinnati, of course, they went 13-1, got to the playoffs, and then got blasted by Alabama. The line opens up as Arkansas as an 8-point favorite. I agree with that. It could be bigger than that. I'm taking Arkansas and laying the 8. I do think Cincinnati takes a significant step backwards this year, probably looking at a 9-3, possibly 10-2 season, and this will be one of your losses. Probably a 2-touchdown win by Arkansas. Next game is going to be Memphis at Mississippi State. Memphis went 6-6, Mississippi State went 7-6. So both had kind of sort of let down years. The opening line has Mississippi State as an 8-point favorite. I actually think that line is too low. I think Mississippi State will blow out Memphis. But I do think Memphis will be a good AAC team this year. I think they will compete for the AAC championship. Right up there with UCF, Houston, and Cincinnati. But this is too much. It's on the road, SEC hostile territory. I'm going to take Mississippi State and win this game by at least 2 touchdowns, maybe even more. The next game is an interesting neutral game. Georgia versus Oregon in Atlanta. Of course, last year Georgia went 14-1, won the national championship. Oregon went 10-4, had a very letdown year, didn't even win the Pac-12. This being in Atlanta, this is basically going to be a home game for Georgia. However, don't forget about last year when Oregon went on the road and beat Ohio State. The opening line for this is Georgia by 15. I'm very torn on this. I do think Georgia will win this football game, but I don't think they'll win it by 2 touchdowns. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than people realize. So I am taking Georgia, but I think I'm also going to take those 15 points. It's going to be interesting to see how that line fluctuates as this game gets closer and closer. But right now I'm taking Georgia, but I'm also taking the 15 points. Next game on the list, another neutral site game. LSU versus Florida State. Last year LSU went 6-7 and Florida State went 5-7. They did not have good seasons last year. Opening line has LSU as just a 3.5 point favorite. That one really made me raise my eyebrows because this is in New Orleans. Basically a home game for LSU. Florida State looked like trash last year, and a lot of people are high on LSU. So why is this line so close? Honestly, I think Florida State's going to be better than what people realize. They do have a chance to pull off the upset here. Now, if this was a true home game at LSU, I probably wouldn't be thinking that. I would take LSU and probably lay the points as well. But it being a neutral game, I'm not so sure about that. I might take Florida State outright, but at minimum, I'll take LSU and the 3.5 points. I think this is going to be a close game. If LSU does win, it'll be by like a field goal or so. And that half a point is a big difference. If they only win by a field goal, then I would win that, taking the 3.5. On top of that, I think Florida State does have a chance to upset LSU. I think Florida State could be a bowl team this year. Finally, the last game on the docket, Clemson at Georgia Tech. Last year, Clemson had a down year. They went 10-3. Georgia Tech had a really bad year at 3-9. This is at Georgia Tech. It is a rivalry, but the opening line has Clemson as a 21-point favorite. They had quarterback issues last year. I do think Georgia Tech is on the rise. Not good. I'm not saying they're good. They're getting better, though. I think Clemson wins this game, but I also think I'm going to take the 21 points. First game of the year, going to be working out a lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties. It is on the road, so yeah, this could be a close game. Whoa. I didn't mean close. I meant closer than 21 points. That was a close one right there. Wait a minute. And hey, even if Clemson wins by 20 points, I would still win that spread pick. So yes, I'm going to take Clemson, but I'm also going to take the 21 points. And no, I am not predicting Georgia Tech to upset Clemson. That is not happening. I just think it's going to be closer than 21 points. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all let me know in the comments section what you think about these spreads and which direction you would go. I look forward to your comments. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.